Hello, welcome to the Islanders podcast. My name is James.
And my name is Daniel.
And my name's Yan.
I'm Minnie.
Hi, Minnie.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about my childhood nightmares.
Oh, what
Okay.
it is?
Yeah, I'm going to share some of my stories about my childhood, the nightmares of my childhood, but not the dreams that I made. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to share the books that I had when I was a child.
Oh, so
It's like-
Okay.
so you were scared by this book?
Yeah, I was very scared about these children's books.
Oh, children's book.
They were like picture books.
Okay, so with some graphics and there are
Yeah, with
captions
a lot
on
of
it.
graphics, like illustrations.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think very beautiful illustrations, to be fair. But the stories were quite horrifying. And so today I wanted to tell you the stories, and I want to ask you whether you think that is suitable for a child.
That sounds
Okay.
controversy because it's the book designed for a child to read.
Yes, it's
learn,
a book
right?
designed for a child to read.
Yes,
but
even
the
mine.
stories, the themes of the stories are very, very, very adult. Okay.
Okay.
You'll hear the stories soon enough. But I want to talk a little bit about myself.
Okay,
first.
Okay.
So I think I'm somewhat a paranoid person.
Yeah,
okay?
definitely.
With things like that relates to supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Like ghost stories, or I remember watching a American TV series called Supernatural.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they talked about a lot of different people and their supernatural experiences. That kind of thing scares me.
So why did you even watch that?
I mean, it was played in class.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
class,
Oh.
So, I don't think I'm a brave person in a sense.
Okay.
At the same time, I think I'm very superstitious
Uh-huh.
about these kind of things. So
you
that's
believe
why
in souls?
I believe in everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
First, I want to ask,
Yeah.
are this book about something mysterious story?
yeah, some are like detective stories.
Oh.
And some are just straight up horror, and some are just
Yeah.
they seem very normal, but actually
Wow.
it's quite horrible.
It
stuff.
It's
sounds
like mental horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So they're
sounds a
all
little-
combined in a series.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a series of about 50 books.
And it's
so
children's book.
50 children's books. Yeah. So that was quite, haunting experience reading through the books,
Yeah.
And as a kid, I really didn't think much of them.
Uh-huh,
I mean, they were scary, sure.
Yeah.
But now as a young adult, when I go back and see some of the stories, it's actually quite scary, even to this day.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to say something that I once went to a horror movie. Went to see a horror movie with my friends, and I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks straight.
Wow, 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I couldn't sleep after watching a horror movie. So I believe that you
This
can
series
somehow
somewhat,
understand
yeah.
how I am with these kind of scary stuff.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's why as an adult, all I watch is the comedies, things that don't really haunt me.
Yeah.
Don't trigger my insomnia.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
So last time I think we talked about literature.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had an
talked
episode about literature, and at that time, I already said that some material I don't think is suitable for the consumption of children. Okay, today I'm going to give you those examples.
And that's what
Okay.
James actually read when he was a child.
Yeah, so because I haven't had time to go home
Okay.
this week and past few weeks,
Okay.
Okay.
and actually my hometown is currently, I think, under semi-lockdown.
Yeah.
Because
COVID.
of some COVID cases in my hometown. So
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to go home, but I actually asked my mother to take photos of my bookshelf
Yeah.
Yeah.
for me, okay? So we're going to post that on Instagram. You can go check out my childhood bookshelf.
Bookshelves.
Nightmare bookshelves.
Yeah, on Instagram, The Islanders TW. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you there. A lot of good stuff over there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to bring that Instagram back.
So
you can check out.
You visualize like
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
You can check out my scary bookshelf. Okay. So now I handpicked a few of them
Handpicked.
to share with you. Okay.
Gem selection.
So the first one, do you know who is Leo Tolstoy?
Oh.
Yeah, Tolstoy. Yeah.
Tolstoy. He's
The
a very
Russian
famous
writer. right?
Russian author.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also he had this book called How Much Land Does a Man Need?
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it for child book?
Yeah. It's a short story, and it's translated into Chinese.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
But
It's
Yeah.
way too hardcore. Wow.
it's pretty fun one, I think, in the
Okay.
batch. It's one of the funner ones. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
So this book talked about a king and his slave, right?
Yeah.
So one day the king told his slave that, oh, you can have any land that you can walk within a day. So he told the slave to, okay, so you can go and walk. So it depends on how much you walk, you can keep the land that you have walked.
Okay.
Okay, so the slave was very, very,
Exciting?
He was a little bit greedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he walked a whole day. He walked very, very far.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, he came back to the place he started. So he had a very large piece of land.
Yeah.
But then he died right there
Why did he die?
because of exhaustion. Because he was too greedy and he walked too much.
Too
during the day.
tired, too exhausted.
Yeah, so he was too tired, and then he was exhausted, and he died.
But there's a moral inside that you shouldn't be too greedy about.
Yes, I understand that there are morals inside the stories, and it tells you not to be too greedy,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it would be scary if you see someone just died because.
But the theme, the way the story is told is this one was a milder version. It's not that bad.
So let's get advanced level.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. But the next one is also quite fun. It's just a very, very sad story.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this story is called The Necklace.
Oh,
and it's
Necklace.
by a French guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to pronounce it wrong.
Please.
It's called Guy de Maupassant.
Yeah, that sounds not right.
He's a French guy.
It doesn't sound like
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. Yeah, but he's a
Yeah.
French guy named Guy. Okay,
Okay.
he's a French guy.
Is it a palm?
Yeah, it's a pun.
He's Guy.
Okay.
So this necklace story talks about a husband and a wife. So it was Christmas, and this couple was not that well off. Okay, so
So
they
do-
didn't have a lot of money. So the husband wanted to buy a gift for his wife, and so he sold his pocket watch to buy like a hair accessory for her wife to put on her hair.
Yeah.
Okay, but then the wife, she wanted to buy a gift for her husband, and so she wanted to buy a pocket watch bracelet for his husband, for her husband.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad.
So she cut her hair and sold her hair for the pocket watch, the leather strap
Wow.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What a coincidence.
in the end, it was a coincidence. So both got gifts for the other, but the other could not use it, and they sold their favorite things for that. Okay, so that was kind of
So
a good, cool story, but it was a little bit sad.
That sounds like a sad romantic
Yeah,
story.
it's
Yeah,
romantic.
it's like-
Yeah,
Just
it's
only
romantic,
one.
definitely.
I remember being very, very sad after reading this book
Oh,
when I was a
really?
child.
So no
when I was
one
a
died in
child,
this
yeah.
story?
No, nobody died in this
Oh,
story.
it's a good story. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good story. But it was
Yeah.
quite sad,
Yeah,
right?
but their gift
Yeah.
failed to.
Yeah, I remember being very sad reading this story when I was a child.
yeah.
Maybe their flower, their intent is the gift.
Yeah, they're in. I think it talks about the gift and the intent behind
Yes.
the gift, and not necessarily the gift
Itself, yeah.
itself. So that has a quite good moral story behind it, but still quite depressing.
Okay.
Quite poetic.
Quite
Yeah,
poetic,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
depressing. Yeah. And the next one is a Japanese book.
Okay.
Okay, it's called Yabu no Naka, which means in the bamboo forest.
So did someone get murdered in this bamboo forest?
No, I will get to that, but this was
Okay.
written by a Japanese author called
Akutagawa.
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 Ryunosuke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a Japanese author, and then so he wrote this story in I think it's a very cool way. So there was a person who died in the forest, a Japanese samurai
The
who died,
bamboo shoot.
who died in the bamboo forest.
Yeah.
And then this story is told through the different testimonies of the different people, different characters in the book. So there is no plot or something. You just read through the different testimonies of these people.
Yeah.
And there was no ending to the story.
So they didn't close the case.
Yeah, they didn't close the case, and even the I think the ghost of the samurai came
Oh,
back.
really? The soul
and
of the
talked-
samurai. Yeah.
The
Mysterious.
ghost of the samurai
Okay.
came back and talked about.
So they gave out lots of testimonies, but
Yeah.
didn't give an
Didn't give an answer.
Yeah.
And the scary part I found about this this story was that someone died in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. and then nobody knows who the murderer is, and maybe the samurai killed himself, and nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody knows. Yeah.
So that was kind of scary, and it's written in a way, I think, with like Japanese poetry.
Yeah.
Or something like haikus or something like that.
Because maybe you will previously think there will be an answer to this misery.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually there's not. Yeah.
I just found the wording to be quite, grim and dark. The way he wrote
Japanese
this
style.
The way he wrote this
And
novel.
the books for children.
Yeah, so I would think that the atmosphere of this short story was very, very, dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pessimistic, I would say.
Yeah, for a child.
What is the moral of this story?
I don't know. It's just like, I think the moral of the story is that different people
have different perspectives.
Stuff and different perspectives. Yeah.
But that's adult thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt that a 10-year-old kid could really understand the moral behind this story.
Yeah.
Particularly. Yeah. Okay, so now up to this point, I think, it's some normal stuff, detective stuff.
Yeah.
But it starts to get a little bit darker. Okay?
Darker? Even darker?
It starts to get into gambling. It starts to get into
A start a trend.
more murder. Okay?
Start a trend.
So the next one is another Russian author called
Another Russian.
Alexander Pushkin. Okay, Alexander Pushkin, and he wrote this short story called "The Queen of Spades."
Okay.
So inside the story, there is a young guy. I forgot his name. And then what he did was he saw a lot of people gambling in southern France, and they earned a lot of money. So he wanted to go and gamble with them to earn money, right? So he heard of a story about an old baroness. Do you know what a baroness is?
Baroness.
No.
It's like an old
widow?
old lady who has high power. Who is I think is
has a social status,
aristocrat. Who is an aristocrat? Yeah. And so this old lady, he went to see this old baroness, and then he wanted to ask her what her secret was to win the gambling.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the baroness told him. But she was too scared and too old, so she was scared to death by the young person.
Wow.
Okay, so the young person scared the baroness to death, and then took the secret to the casino and started gambling. Okay, so the first 2 nights he gambled, using the secret strategy, and he won a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the secret strategy was to, I think, the number 3, number 7, and number 11, and the ace. Yeah. Okay, so these 3 cards helped him win all the money in the casino. Okay, yeah. And on the 3rd day, he came back to the casino, and then he gambled all his money again to try and win a lot of money.
Yeah.
But this time he lost to the opponent. Okay, and the opponent put out a card which was the Queen of Spades.
Yeah.
Okay, and the young guy saw on the Queen of Spades was the face of the old baroness.
Wow.
I don't like it.
And then the baroness on the card was smiling and winking at him.
That's disgusting.
Maybe the old lady had a poker face.
Yeah.
So why even the old lady was killed or scared to death?
I don't really know. But, after that, so he became a madman. The young person became a mad guy.
Yeah.
And then he was put into a mental asylum.
Yeah.
Okay, and inside the asylum, every day he would chant the words number 7, number 3, number 7, number 11.
What's that?
Like that. He went crazy, went mad.
It's illustrated, right?
Yeah, it's illustrated as well. I don't really know what this
So
moral of the
creepy.
story is. I think
greedy?
telling kids not to gamble. Perhaps.
That doesn't make any sense because so why even kill that lady?
Yeah, I don't understand why you would let a 10-year-old read this book.
And the
understand.
poker.
Yeah.
It will show the poker card, right? So there should be
There is a poker card.
old lady's face on.
Yeah, I think there is a picture of the old lady on
Wow.
the card. Yeah, I think I can show you that. Show you guys that photo later.
So did you enjoy this story?
I hated the story.
Who will
Thank
enjoy
you.
this story?
Gave me nightmares.
Yeah. So you will see Spade Queen and you'll found there's a
Well, but this is not the worst. This is still
It's
not the
not
worst.
even the
Yeah,
worst.
okay.
Still not the worst. Okay. So next one is actually a Chinese offer.
Yeah.
So actually, this set of books, they had different offers from different countries,
Yeah, they're
different cultures.
they're renowned authors, right?
So the next one is a very famous Chinese author called Lu Xun.
Lu Xun, yeah.
And he wrote a story called Diary of a Madman.
That one is truly
I think
mad.
it was
It's somewhat mad.
Yeah, it was a Diary of a Madman, but
Yeah.
I think the contents of the story was to criticize
Yeah.
the thinking of the Chinese people at the time.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this question once again.
Okay.
Do you think a 10-year-old can understand, that what the author was trying to talk about?
But you are the future, so we have to
Definitely.
cultivate you.
But you haven't even know about what Chinese people is thinking about at that point.
I mean, like at 10 years old, how can you understand
the criticize inside
how the
behind the
author
story.
criticizes the thinking of the Chinese people at the
Yeah.
time? So this story was very hard to understand. I remember at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one I think article or novel I think novel Lu Xun wrote about is about bun of people's blood.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
It's crazy.
so it's
So it has a scary component to it as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
somewhat scary.
Mm-hmm.
And the madman, I remember that the diary of a madman tells a story about a diary of a madman, but the madman is actually the most the clear, the most intelligent one among
Rational.
all those Chinese people at that point.
Yeah, I think it was actually written in the perspective of the madman. Yeah.
And you will find that the madman is actually he's thinking independently, and he is very
He's actually not the
forward-thinking
madman.
man. Yeah, he was actually not.
It's a
Others-
metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That people think he's mad, but
Yeah.
actually he's not the madman. He's the smart one, which is the author, right?
So 10-year-old James.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Very interesting story at the time.
I'm starting to be interested about how the rating of this series of chapbook.
I hated
children
it.
books.
I hated it, and I hated even. I think I might have hated the pictures even more
Yeah.
than the stories.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Maybe we should check out the reviews or something.
Yeah, definitely. I will show you the photos when I can. Okay.
yeah.
So next one is actually a local Taiwanese author. He's called Huang Chunming.
Oh.
Okay, he wrote this very good story called The Sandwich Man.
Oh, it's a sad story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell people why it's called The Sandwich Man?
Because in early age in Taiwan, normally at that time we don't have television, so the way people see it, the advertisement is on a sandwich board carried by the people. So in that story, a father who worked as a sandwich man, he carried a sandwich board on his shoulder and walk around the street to let everyone see the advertisement, and also make up as a clown.
Yeah. So this father, he had the makeup on himself every
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
Because of his job, right? So he dressed up as a clown.
Yes.
Which, first of all, clowns are scary.
Yeah,
Clowns are very
They're
scary. Yeah. But the story was talking about him working very hard because at
Yes.
the time in Taiwan, I think the economy
poor,
was not that well,
Yes.
for a lot of people. And so he was working very hard for his kid, right? But then when he went home one day and he took off his makeup, he found out that he couldn't make the kid happy.
Yes.
Only when he had the makeup on could he cheer his child up.
Wow.
That's really sad.
So that's
Yeah.
a very depressing story.
yeah.
So
It's too heavy.
what do you think?
It's still too heavy for me.
It's fine for me, actually. It's
Oh,
better
it's-
than the previous
It's better than the
two
previous
ones.
ones. Yeah, but I thought this was quite depressing. But
Yeah.
again, at the time, I couldn't understand why this was so depressing.
Yeah.
This really requires a sort of mental maturity to understand. And I didn't think I really understood
And
this
why
story
do
when I
you
was a kid. Yeah.
Why did they show? I think that's a dark side of the world to the children.
Yeah.
Why don't they show some joyful things for?
Yeah, why not Baby Shark?
yeah.
What's wrong with Baby Shark,
Baby
right?
shark.
Peppa Pig.
You know,
That's
like-
great.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Like kids now, just
Maybe the
much
moral
better.
Why?
of the story is to teach you to respect your parents, no matter how they are.
yeah, I think.
Maybe.
But there are lots of other different stories that can teach you the same thing without,
At least
Torturing your
being
heart.
this dark.
but at least it's an impressive one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But we're
Yeah, I think the literature itself was very good.
Yes.
Was very like classics.
Yeah, classic for a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
For a 30-year-old, but not for a 10-year-old, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so last one, which is the worst of them all.
Worst of them.
Okay.
It's called The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
And it was written by
that.
Oscar Wilde.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
Oscar Wilde.
Okay, that name doesn't sound really good for
Okay.
children.
So Dorian Gray is a person. He's a very rich young baron. Okay, so he's also an aristocrat.
Yeah.
And he was very rich. And so he wanted to stay young forever.
Okay.
So he hired a painter to paint a self-portrait of him, of himself,
Yeah.
which was very young, right?
Yeah.
But to enable to sustain him being that young, he had to participate in a lot of different crimes, like smoking a lot of drugs, doing a lot of bad things to poor people, doing a lot of evil crimes.
Yeah.
And so every time he did this kind of crimes, he found that the picture, self-portrait, became a little uglier, became a little older, and the self-portrait depicted every bad thing he had done, every sin he had done.
Yeah.
But he stayed very young, right? So one day he thought that he had to erase all the memory of him doing all these bad things, right? So he killed the painter
Okay.
of his self-portrait.
Okay.
And the next thing he did was he used a knife to ruin the painting.
Just stab into
To
the
stab
paint.
the painting, yeah. And the end of the story was one of his servants going to the room of the painting and finding an old ugly man dead by knife into his own body. And then the creepiest part of them all was that the painting became very beautiful and young, like a young Dorian Gray.
Oh.
And that's
wow.
the ending of the story. Yeah. So enjoy that.
I think maybe it's the scene that the old man penetrate the pants. The picture is like a self-reflection.
Of course,
Yeah,
it
of
is
course it's
self-reflection.
reflection.
Of course, it's a moral of the story is to
Yes.
not do drugs and stay young all the time. But as a kid, again, I want to point out that as a kid, of course, we know how to understand all these morals. But do we have to be delivered these morals
These
through
ways?
this kind of way?
These books.
Yeah. Okay. So that's enough about my childhood nightmares. So how about you guys? Do you have any childhood nightmares?
The
that you want to
trouble
share?
I-
These nightmares are definitely nightmares. I can't argue anything about you. Even you become a pessimistic after all of these. I will feel very compassionate for you. Yeah, you have to just strive through these kind of
So you have to
bad
like
things.
watch a certain
Yeah.
amount of comedies to
to refresh yourself. Yeah,
save myself from all this
wow.
past.
I
Neutralizing
think the
his
most
memory.
Yeah, I think the most scariest. I think folklore or tale or
yeah.
I've heard when I was a child is like a tigress.
The tiger.
Tigress auntie.
Tiger auntie.
Tiger auntie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a Taiwanese traditional story, and it's talk about there's a tiger just pretend herself as a auntie of two little child, a sister and a brother, and how the tiger tried to eat them, and how the smart sister tried to save herself and the brother. So I think it scares me because the tiger is scary itself, and she pretended as a nice person,
yeah.
and they get close to the brothers, to the siblings, and try to kill them, and that part was scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my parents bought these books for me because they hold, I think, a lot of literary value.
Yeah.
You know, there's a very classics of literature, and I think the painters, the illustrators, are also famous illustrators.
Yes.
Okay.
So but I really doubt that is for kids to read. You know, that is what I.
So
I think
did your
there's a
parents know
question
about
with
the stories of these
I
classics?
don't think they do. I don't
Did
think
you
they do.
share-
That's the problem. I don't think they really
So
do.
did you share these? Since I think parents
Did
they
you
will
share your
they tell
feelings
stories. Yeah.
with them?
I just told them I didn't want to read the books when I was a kid, and they thought that I was lazy because I didn't want to read the books. You know, but that was
Okay. Yeah. That
was a whole different story.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it next
Okay.
Maybe
okay.
your parent buy those books for themselves.
For themselves.
No, I don't think so.
No.
And you open the
Yeah.
box accidentally.
But I think I've heard that.
No, and also besides these series series, I also have a series on Shakespeare.
Oh, wow,
So
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, like
So how-
Hamlet, like Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet was the original ending as well.
Oh, so the one who kills himself.
The
Oh,
one that
wow.
everybody dies in
Oh,
Romeo
shit.
and Juliet. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Why?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So,
Yeah.
I think lots of like folk tales, they're really dark. I think
some should really be R-rated.
Yeah.
Right? They should be, really be R-rated
Yeah,
on
yeah,
these
yeah,
like
yeah.
children's books. Yeah,
I think Grimm's Tale once it was very adult,
yeah
right?
I think
But
a
then,
lot of these stories were a depiction
Yeah.
of Europe at the time.
Yeah,
like
Yes.
Russia at the
It was
time.
like
or
some of the
Europe at the time,
criticized, yeah.
which was a lot of like everybody deceiving everybody or like everybody murdering everybody. And like, that kind of stuff was really heavy for me as a child.
but now they are whitewashed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you guys ever have a child, remember to seek professional help to choose what kind of books for your child.
Definitely.
Like depending on what your child likes and all that. I highly recommend that.
I recommend one book, Brown Bear. It's very cute and simple. It's just about a brown bear look at another animal, and that animal look at another animal.
But it's for
All
really
of them are
young
cute.
kids.
All of them were
Yeah.
cute.
Yes.
Were cute paintings.
Yeah. So
Not some scary murderers.
yes. So it's like this: brown bear, what do you see? I see the bird looking at mate.
Bluebird, what do you see?
Yeah, something
I
like
see
that.
the audience is leaving. So that's enough for today. We'll see you in the next episode.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.